Hey guys, it's Black Scott Survival, and today I got my friend Chance Sanders with us, and he's a spokesman for Mission Knives, and today he's going to talk a little bit about the product line that Mission Knives has to offer. Chance, tell the viewers a little bit about yourself.
Well, I spent some time in the Marine Corps, just like you did, and picked up some good wilderness survival training from some outside sources while I was in. Really got heavy into knives, and now that translates into what I'm doing with Mission Knives. We have some new things coming out, but for what we have on deck right now is some of our flagship stuff. Mission Knives is well known for their titanium in a saltwater environment, a recon or SEALs or whomever. Having a knife that will hold up to that saltwater environment and not rust and not deteriorate is something that's very useful. And the fact that titanium is not magnetic when you're dealing with mines and stuff like that.
EODs and stuff.
EOD.
Yeah.
Another thing we have to offer is EOD mine probes. And I've spoken with several EOD guys, and I tell them what I do, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we use your mine probes." So Mission also has an aerospace side, so you know the quality that goes into aerospace engineering is going into the knives, and they are the toughest knives out there. And when you start getting into toughness, and there's some trade-offs to edge sharpening and things like that. A lot of people have questions about titanium. Is it hold an edge good? It does hold an edge very well. It is easy to sharpen with the right components. So you're going to need diamonds. You're not going to use your grandpa's whetstone to sharpen this stuff up. But for what you get in the trade-off is well worth it. And we also have some A2 steel knives that we'll be showing you guys. And so you do have your pick between the high carbon or the titanium.
Nice. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take a look at a few of his knives, and we'll talk about them, and let's go ahead and do that. All right, Chance, let's talk a little bit about these knives you got here.
Well, to start off on our smaller ends, all three of these are titanium. This one here is the MPU, and you can see it has a nice flat grind and kind of a very defined point to it. And this little guy, and even you can tell the little thumb ramp, but this little knife is just excellent. You can use it for a skinning knife, you can use it for any type of general utility knife. And this is the MPU model is skeletonized. You can get it with a cord wrap, or you can wrap it yourself.
And this is a titanium here?
This is a full tie. Feel the weight on that.
It's so light. What I like about this knife is that it has a long enough handle. A lot of knives this size, you know, it has a short handle. It doesn't fit a man's hands per se.
Yep.
But this would be good, being, you know, for waterborne operations, kayaking or whatnot. Something small and lightweight. You don't need a big survival knife when you're kayaking. You know, you might run into some stuff you got cut or something like that.
And along with that, if you're going with this model, which you can tell it has an abbreviated tanto point, still has some belly to it, and obviously it's serrated. So if I was going to go with a kayaking type of knife, this would be the one that I would use. In a wilderness knife, I really am not fond of serrations, but you get into kayaks and things with ropes involved, diving, anything like that, the serrations will definitely come into play. And once again, the handle is a nice full-fitting handle, and as you know, the more you use a knife, if the handle is not comfortable, you're going to get a lot of hand fatigue. You're going to get a lot of wear on your hands, especially if you're doing a repetitive motion over and over again.
Most definitely.
And something like this is so lightweight. I mean, if I go jogging or running PT, I'll carry one of these on a neck knife setup, and it's just, you forget it's even there until you need it. And it's also a very, I would probably pick this one just because of the way the tip is, but as a defensive knife.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
You know, it's small, you can get at it quick, but you can definitely do some damage. Moving up to the folder here, this is the MFK, and obviously you can tell it has a nice thick tanto, and other tanto versions, a lot of them want to be one-sided, or they'll be chisel ground.
Chisel ground, yeah.
And this one is ground from both sides. It's got a nice frame lock, very lightweight handle. You can see where they took some material out there to lighten up the handle, and everything that we do at Mission, all the way down to the screws, are made in-house. They are actually milled out and made in-house. So everything made on this knife is 100% made in the USA from USA components, and that's something you run into with a lot of your knife companies now, is it'll say assembled in the USA, and they're using Chinese manufactured parts, and they're getting their stuff and sourcing it. The one thing about these knives is you're going to pay for the quality of the knife. This folder that I'm holding, and folders are always going to be more expensive than fixed blades,
most definitely,
due to the time it takes to manufacture them. This is going to run you $350 to $400. But I mean, you've got a bomb-proof knife that you don't have to replace.
It's going to last you the rest of your life. That's the thing. You know, I don't mind spending money on gear that's going to, you know, stand the test of time. Let me see
you
this
want to hold
one.
that one?
Yeah. I think it's really light too. Yeah, I have a Tonto point that's chisel ground. I liked it in the beginning, but over time in actual use, I wound up not liking it. But this being a, you know, both sides, it's really nice. But yeah, that thing feels nice.
Now, moving up, this is our A2 knives, a couple of the A2 knives. This is the MPK-10, and our flagship knife has the same design as the MPK-12, and you can get it in both A2 or titanium. It's just a little bit bigger of a knife, and this is the one that initially the SEALs and the recon guys picked up, and the sheath that it comes in is more of a dive knife style of a sheath, and you can attach that and utilize it in that manner. But being A2 steel, it doesn't have the non-corrosive attributes that a titanium knife has, but it is just a freaking excellent knife and very easy to sharpen, holds an edge well, and it's just, I love it. And some people ask about the handles. They have concerns about, you know, a hidden tang type of a knife, and there's never been any of these broken to my knowledge. And Anthony, the owner of Mission Knives, he had one of these that he tried to break, and eventually it broke after about a year of everybody coming in the shop and pounding on it with hammers and throwing it across the room and bending it this way and that way. You can break anything, but under even extreme use, there's no way you're going to break one of these knives. And that's really what it boils down to, is having something that is going to hold up when you need it to hold up. Moving on down the line here, this is more of a fighter knife. This is the MPT A2, and obviously the A2 standing for the A2 steel. And this one has more of a slender handle profile, and it has a little, I guess, a skull crusher, for lack of better terms. It is partially serrated. It's got a nice deep thumb choil. It has the ramp here in the back to give you good positive control, and this is definitely something you want to carry to handle those things that need to be handled in a combat situation. And the good thing about it has enough length to get to the places you need to get to, especially if you're going through thick clothing.
That's right.
Or having to reach around and do a technique like that.
Yeah, the more length you have, the better in a knife fight.
And it's funny. There's a book that I have. I can't remember the name of it. One of the older, like 1970s knife fighting manuals, and it actually gave like a map of the body, and it talked about how deep you need to penetrate for different stabs and how soon your person's going to bleed out and things of that nature. But that's what I have right now, and we are currently working on my knife that we'll be coming out with here pretty soon, that's going to incorporate things I think are valuable in an urban situation, and will incorporate all of these features in different aspects and kind of into one knife. So that's what we're looking at right now.
I hear you. Okay, well, I appreciate you talking to us about Mission Knives, and if you're interested in these knives or any other knives that they have to offer, just check out their website, missionknives.com.
Missionknives.com, yes.
And thanks
for
being here. All right, guys, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.